Hey guys, the Hebrew word Zakar, to remember, doesn't mean mental recall. It means covenantal action. When God remembers, he doesn't just suddenly think of someone, but he moves toward them according to his purpose. Genesis 8:1 says, "Then God remembered Noah, and immediately the waters began to recede." Not because God had forgotten him, but because the appointed moment had arrived. And this is a biblical pattern. In Exodus 2, Israel is groaning under bondage in Egypt. And the text says, God heard their groaning, and God remembered his covenant. And what happens next? Deliverance begins to unfold. God remembering is never passive introspection. It's the turning point where promise becomes action. So when scripture says God remembers, it's not describing a thought, it's announcing a movement. As we continue to allow scripture to interpret scripture here, we see this biblical pattern unfold even further. And we see a beautiful example on even a deeply personal level. In 1 Samuel 1, Hannah is barren, weeping, and praying in anguish. And the text says, "Then the Lord remembered her." And what follows? Life where there was none. Samuel is born. Again, not because God had suddenly noticed her, but because the moment of covenantal action had arrived. And that reframes the silence, because we so often tend to interpret delay as absence. We interpret stillness as neglect. The scripture interprets this differently. The ark sat surrounded by nothing but water. No land, no signal, no visible change. Just waiting. And if we were inside that ark, it would have felt like nothing was happening. But quite literally, everything was happening. Because God does not move randomly. He moves according to what he has already spoken. Which means this: the silence you're sitting in right now isn't evidence that God has lost track of you. It may very well be the space where his promise is about to take shape. The ark didn't wait because God forgot. It waited because the time had not yet come. Zakar, he remembers. And when he does, he moves. So don't misread the silence. Keep standing, wait on him, and be ready. Because when God moves, everything changes.